In this video, we're going to compare the SLR Magic anamorphic adapter to the Panasonic LA7200. This is about the closest competitor, even though it's not made anymore. It was originally made for the small chip censored DVX100. These still are used today on larger chip cameras to get an anamorphic image. So we're going to compare the two, starting off with the SLR Magic Prime with the BlackMagic camera. So if you've watched my videos before, this SLR Prime is 35mm, and this camera has a fairly small sensor. It's like a 2.3 crop. So the problem is that if you see my other videos, the LA7200 on this camera will probably only work without a speed booster somewhere around 14 to maybe 20mm while still looking good. So right off the bat, this has a longer range. So the LA7200 can go really, really wide. You can actually use it on a Tokina 11-16 if you mount it really close and shoot at 12mm probably with this camera. This will start to vignette around 20-ish. So, but on the flip side, this can shoot with a 50mm lens, whereas that with the LA7200 would just be a complete blur. So loading up the tests, you can see that the flare is fairly similar between the two, but the LA7200 is much less sharp. And that's just simply because it's out of the range of the lens. I've even taken this test and I'm shooting with the SLR Magic at t5.6 in order to give the most I can to the LA7200 at this range. It makes the SLR Magic really sharp, and the LA7200 is basically unusable, as you can see. Now in the next test, we're going to take these same two lenses, but use them on a Panasonic GH2 and use it with the Panasonic 20mm 1.7 lens. We'll shoot minimum focus distance with each lens, and we'll shoot at around an f4. That will put both lenses right in the range for the best image quality possible, and you can still see the difference between the two. While they do look a lot more similar at 20mm on the GH2, you can still see that there is more CA, there is more overall blurriness to the picture with the LA7200. So even at the best range that you can use an LA7200, and using a 20mm on a GH2 with that 20mm prime, as you can see in my other videos, produces some good results. You would still get better results if you use the SLR Magic adapter on the GH2 with that same lens. Now, there is one difference, one thing that the LA7200 can do, only one small thing that the LA7200 can do at 20mm that this takes more adjustment, and that is to match minimum focus distance between the LA7200 at 20mm and the SLR Magic at 20mm, you would need to set the lens all the way to near. But even with that, you could actually use this in autofocus and shoot with this anamorphic adapter on an autofocus lens.